Hey guys, it's Adam. Just wanted to give you a quick video while I'm driving today about a recent upgrade I've done to my 2018 Golf Sportwagen S 4Motion with the DSG. Did the front brake upgrade, so I did the 312 millimeter front brake conversion basically. And what this is, if you've read about it online or seen some of the info on the forums about it, is the regular Golfs, either the hatchback or the wagon, both two-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive wagon, come with 288 millimeter front brake rotors, and you can convert them to the 312 millimeter brake rotor size that comes stock on the Alltrack or the GTI, the non-performance pack GTI. So it's a nice little kind of OEM plus upgrade. The trick is you obviously need rotors, and I went ahead and changed my pads as well, but you don't have to if your pads are okay. But the key to the whole thing is the Caliper Carrier. And so what a Caliper Carrier is on the Volkswagen calipers, it's the bracket that spaces the caliper away from the axle at the appropriate distance to grab the rotors in the right place. So when you upgrade your rotors to a larger size, clearly the caliper has to sit a little further away, and you need that bracket. So those brackets are actually kind of hard to find, and they're kind of expensive. So those brackets can be sometimes up to $150 depending on where you're looking a piece, which is just crazy for what it is. It's like a little piece of aluminum. It's a bracket with some bolts in it. So what I did was I found a set of used Alltrack calipers that included the Carrier, and those were $120 used, which was perfect. So less than one brand new Carrier. And maybe I can even sell them when I'm done and recoup a little bit of my money. The other way I've seen folks do it is buy brand new calipers on eBay over from Europe. They come in blue, red, or the unpainted like my Golf has. And those are, I think, just shy of $200. So even that is a better deal than spending $300 on individual Carriers. The DIY that a guy named Golf Dave has on the Golf Mark 7 forums under the DIY sub forum is really good. It's easy to do. I did it in about an hour and a half with my 10-year-old, and that included farting around and having a few beers. So really easy upgrade to do. Oh, and I went with the rotors and pads I did were a kit from Stoptech.com. I went with the Stoptech slotted rotor set and the EBC Redstuff pad. So the Redstuff is kind of like it's their middle pad. They have a green one that would be like your almost OEM-y type replacement. They have the red, which would be like a slightly more performance-oriented, however still street pad, and it's a ceramic. And then they have a yellow pad, which is their yellow stuff, and that's like a track pad. So probably not really very applicable for what I'm doing, which is driving around every day, just going to work. So I went with the reds, did the DIY, installed everything, and the Redstuff pads are, EBC does send some very specific instructions on how to break them in. It's easy. The Cliff Notes version is drive it for 200 miles and try not to, do anything hard stopping or like an emergency stop unless you have to, obviously. Get them up to the 200 mile mark, which is normal use around town, not cruising on the highway, obviously, where you wouldn't be using your brakes. And then find a nice quiet stretch of road and get going 60 miles an hour and slow down to 20, like hard, like really jam on the brakes, but not locking them up. And do that 5 times in a row, one after the other, to get them really hot. And so when I did that, actually after the 5th one, I got out to look, and they were smoking and smelly, which is what you are supposed to get out of this process. And then I just drove home and done. I'm at about 700 miles on the pads now, and they feel great. EBC says it can take sometimes upwards of 1,000 miles to really achieve the full performance. I'd say I'm there now. They have like a break-in surface on them that you're wearing off, and that's what you need to do in that first 500 to 1,000 miles. They do make a little noise at first, and you read the instructions, it tells you, don't call us about noise, it's normal within the first 1,000 miles. Almost sounds like they grind a little bit when you come to a stop. I'd say, again, 700 miles, I'm fine. What are my impressions of the upgrade? I think it was completely worth it. So I spent $450 on this upgrade. I have now the same brakes as a GTI or Alltrack on the front. They stop very smoothly, so they're definitely not as grabby as the original 288s I had. Other than that, I don't really, have much else to say. They stop great. That's it. It's a worthy upgrade, especially when you start giving your car more and more power. There's a lot of people that will argue about going up a size in brakes that it doesn't really do anything, because if you can lock your brakes up with the 288 you have enough brake for the car. And that in fact your tires are your primary control over your braking. I say bullshit. I'm a mountain biker, and you always, when you increase the size of your front rotor on a mountain bike, you stop better, or sorry, you can stop the same using less force at the lever. And in this case, that's what I would say. You're moving the caliper away from the axle. It's like trying to stop a bicycle wheel spinning by grabbing the tire or grabbing near the hub. Which is easier? Obviously the tire, because you have more leverage over it. And that's all you're doing with these larger brake upgrades. And the OEM type upgrades like these are great, because the only difference in the 288s I had and the 312s that come on the Alltrack and the non-performance pack GTI is that carrier, and the rotor. That's it. So it's not like you have to upgrade your brake fluid or your master cylinder or anything. So it's just a plug and play upgrade. It's really great. I highly recommend it. The DIY that Golf Dave has on the Golf Mark 7 forum, it's like under the DIY sub forum, is incredibly detailed. It goes into all the torque specs and what bolts you need to replace, etc. So if people are interested in doing it, I'd say go for it. Peace.